Everybody, it's Johnny Two-Face here, back with another reaction video. This time I'm reacting to how and where did the Ottoman Empire originate, 1299 to 1389 by House of History. Now, as I said, I don't have much, again, it's another subject I don't have much info on. What little I know about the Ottoman Empire is in World War I, which I've reacted to the World War I series by Epic History TV, which is still on my channel as far as I'm aware, if you want to check that out. And also I know that they were the Turkish Empire after the Seljuk Empire, which for most people, what little I know about the Seljuks is defeating the Eastern Romans or Byzantines at Manzikert. And apart from that, my knowledge of the Ottoman Empire is more limited than other subjects. So the usual disclaimer when I react to anything historical, if I don't show so much what is considered a proper reaction, is probably obvious. I don't know much about the subject at hand, and if I do know anything, I'll most likely pause the video to give my input or ask any curious questions, which hopefully leave in the comments below. Sorry, the lamps hurt my eyes. I don't want to dim it too low. So the link to the original video will be in the description down below. Please go and subscribe to House of History, another great history channel, which I think needs more recognition and support, in my opinion. But that's just me. But yeah, there's not much more I can add to this. So, well, apart from the fact that recently I've reacted to the early Muslim expansion series by Kings and Generals, and then Epic History TV's videos about the Abbasid Caliphate. So I thought these type of series are a refreshing change from, reacting to English history that I'm not very clued about, or other European history. So I thought it'd be a pleasant change to react to more historical, like my historical reactions. I thought it'd be a refreshing change to react to more historical subjects about either the Middle East or more Asian subjects, just to, I feel like it all balances out, but that's just me. So I don't expect people to agree with me on that. So yeah, I've rambled on for long enough, so let's get this up on screen, captions on, and see what happens in this one.
In 1221, on the plains of current-day Turkmenistan.
Sorry, I'm just checking on my OBS every now and again to make sure that nothing's disconnected by itself. Sorry, let's continue.
Lay the city of Merv. The town faced a Mongol besiegement under one of Genghis Khan's sons and opened its gates in the hopes of experiencing mercy. Instead, one of the bloodiest genocides in world history followed, with approximately 1 million casualties. The leader of a nearby Oghuz Turkic clan, Ertugrul, heard of these atrocities and decided to leave the region. Arriving in the declining Seljuk Empire, the Seljuk Sultanate Konya gave him a piece of land near Sogod in exchange for his service. Nobody could have foreseen it, but this band of refugees would establish the mighty Ottoman Empire.
Okay.
Chroniclers describe how in the early 14th century, under Osman Ghazi, a group of Turkic nomadic warriors accumulated around the city of Sogod. They were one of many, often Islamic Turkic tribes to settle on the peninsula. The strongest actors surely were the decaying Byzantine Empire, the Rum Sultanate, and the Mongol Ilkhanate. Smaller beyliks such as the Teike, Aydinids, Hamidids, Sarukhanids, Karaman.
When he says about hang on, if I go back.
Byzantine Empire, the Rum Sultanate, and the Mongol Ilkhanate.
Yeah, So yeah, this would have, from what little I know about the Mongol invasion, that this was the Golden Horde, and this is where I remember them being stopped in, well, Europe-wise, by Hungary, Bulgaria, and Poland, which I think is here. But I think yeah, sorry, I'm at a bit of a blank moment then. Oh no, I think this is all Polish territory, I think, at the time. Yeah, and I think this might have been correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, that the Ilkhanate was after the death of Genghis Khan. I might have to go back on such subjects. So but anyway, and I know it's, but again, this is all about the Ottoman, asking when did the Ottoman Empire originate?
Smaller beyliks
The origins of the Ottoman Empire, that's what I was supposed to say.
such as the Teike, Aydinids, Hamidids, Sarukhanids, Karamanids, and Chermianids all lay lodged between these states. Nothing yet gave away that a beylik of equal size and equal mediocrity, the beylik of Osman, would grow on to be one of the strongest empires the world had ever seen. Osman first pops up in historical sources in descriptions of the 1301 Battle of Bafiyas, fought between him and the Byzantines. He emerged victorious, with the most significant gain being that his beylik became an independent political unit. He subsequently conquered fortresses in the region, cutting the connection between Bursa and Iznik, leaving them only able to communicate via small seaports. His victories made Osman famous, and his name traveled far and wide, attracting nomadic warriors from all over the peninsula. Byzantine Emperor Andronicus II recognized the growing threat. He even offered a Byzantine princess's hand to the Ilkhanid Khan Ghazan and his brother in the hopes to receive support against a small beylik. To no avail, because Osman's son Orhan defeated an Ilkhan invasion in Eskişehir. In 1303, Andronicus hired Roger the Floor's Catalan mercenaries to curb Osman's ambition. There was a significant problem with mercenaries, though. They often marauded on their own accord. They inflicted more damage on Byzantine territories than against the Ottomans, raiding the Dardanelles Straits and even raiding together with other Turkic tribes. Byzantine governors in the periphery also realized they could not count on the old empire for their defense, and some defected to Osman. Others were persuaded with gifts, strategic alliances, or the establishment of trading networks. The Seljuk Rum Sultanate and Ilkhanate suffered internal disorder and could not adequately respond to the growing Ottoman threat. For the remainder of his reign, Osman expanded his territories towards the north to the Black Sea and the southwest towards the Sea of Marmara. By the 1320s, Osman minted his own coins and established an advanced military and administrative infrastructure. Still, because of his lack of siege equipment, he could not capture large strategic cities or move confidently against other strong Turkic tribes such as the Aydin and Karasi. Still, with the capture of Mudanya in 1321, Bursa was entirely cut off from the rest of Byzantium. Osman passed away in 1324, increasing his territory significantly while respecting the strong fortifications surrounding his territories. His son Orhan succeeded him. He embraced Sunni Islam as the foundation for the state he built. He erected theological schools, and administrators had to be familiar with Islamic law. Still, modern historiography considers the main impetus of expansion to have been the search for booty, plunder, and slaves, rather than any form of pure holy Islamic war. The fact intermarriages between Christians and Muslims were common supports this notion, not to mention Orhan's adopted policy of using Christian mercenaries during military conquests and campaigns. Even Orhan himself married Theodora Cantacuzene, daughter of the Byzantine emperor.
Yeah, because it's different to the, the Muslim caliphate, other Muslim caliphates where you, if I remember rightly, you have to convert to Islam to be accepted into the caliphate, even though they probably did use non-Muslim mercenaries. That wouldn't surprise me. But again, the it's still a bit muddled on some of the sources, though.
After years of strategic isolation, Orhan captured Bursa in 1326. He turned it into the capital of the Ottoman Beylik and reburied his father there. Moroccan scholar and explorer Ibn Battuta wrote that Orhan exceeded the other Turkic chieftains in wealth and territory by this time. Historiography marks this moment as the founding of the Ottoman Empire, and many centuries of military conquest followed. Although Ottoman territory rapidly expanded, they guaranteed enough soldiers to control territories and keep up prolonged besiegements in terms of supplies. Even before incorporating gunpowder, the Ottomans were a force to be reckoned with thanks to their size and ability to cut off supply lines from besieged objectives. In 1327, the Bulgarian Tsar Michael Shishman invaded Thracia twice, nearly.
I know a lot of people know this by now, but even way before the Ottomans, the Byzantine Empire was rapidly declining, especially being attacked by the Muslim caliphates, whether it be Rashidun, Ubayd, even the Ubayyads. Because large swathes of Anatolia were rapidly being taken by the Caliphate. And bear in mind, the Byzantines also had to deal with the Balkan regions as well.
Capturing Adrianople. Both attacks were repelled, and with newfound confidence, Emperor Andronicus took up arms against the Ottoman threat in the east. The subsequent Battle of Izmit ended in a stalemate, and the city would not enter Ottoman hands for another decade. The major Byzantine force was routed towards Constantinople soon after. In 1331, the city of Iznik surrendered after prolonged besiegement, though. By 1337, the city of Izmit fell as well, and 1 year later, Uskudar was conquered. Orhan forged alliances with other Turkic tribes and Christians, such as the Genoese mercenaries, constantly increasing its manpower. And Byzantium couldn't adequately respond. Andronicus passed away in 1341, and the already weakened empire descended into a civil war as John VI faced regions of Andronicus' 9-year-old son. In addition, external forces preyed on Byzantium, such as Tsar Ivan Alexander and the Serbian Stefan Dusan. Meanwhile, the Garasids controlled much of the Anatolian western coastline to the south and even conducted raids in mainland Byzantium. When the Karasids suffered from internal instability in the 1340s, instead of Byzantium using it to their advantage, Orhan swiftly annexed the strategically located Beylik. The importance of gaining access to seaports cannot be overstated. Orhan appointed his son Suleiman as Bey of Karasi. Kantakuzenas realized the value of the Ottomans as allies. Betrotting his daughter to Orhan in 1346, he secured military aid, some 6,000 soldiers.
Wow.
With Orhan's help, he won the civil war and was appointed the senior emperor John VI. Having been instrumental in his victory, Orhan received the right to cross the Dardanelles Strait and raid France. John reigned for 8 years, giving the Ottomans ample time to familiarize themselves with everything on the European shores. With virtually no opposition to raiding the European mainland, the Ottomans rapidly accumulated riches and expanded their wealth. Having the funds to afford a large military, even more Turkic people living in Anatolia joined their service. Suleiman was Orhan's heir apparent. This young man was the architect behind the expansion into Thrace. Under his command in 1352, the Ottomans routed a Serbian-Bulgarian force marching against John VI. As a reward, he received the fort of Zimpe, establishing a military base to launch raiding parties from the Gallipoli Peninsula, which he seized in its entirety 2 years later. There wasn't much John could do, and internal instability soon led to his abdication. All the while, Suleiman launched raids as far as Adrianople. In 1357, during an unfortunate hunting accident, the heir apparent died. 5 years later, Orhan too passed away, and a struggle broke out for control between the brothers Murat and Halil. Murat came out on top and had Halil executed, cementing his power. The first years of Murat's reign were marked by convincing other Turkic tribes to align themselves with the Ottomans. He backed up his requests with force and captured lands to the west, while also capturing black seaports. Then, having neutralized any opposition on the peninsula, he set his eyes on Europe. Under Murad, the Ottoman threat first became apparent at European courts. In his thirst for expansion, he made up for what he lacked in literacy. The man could not even sign documents with his own name. With Gallipoli, he inherited the ideal base. He bypassed the fortified Constantinople and moved up north. Ottoman raids culminated in Lala Shahin Pasha's conquest of Adrianople, a major Byzantine city somewhere in the 1360s. Renaming it Edirne, the strategic location facilitated expansion into the Balkans. Still, it would not be until 1376 for Murad to make it his capital. Bursa had served them well for nearly 3 decades, but it was time to focus on conquering new lands, with settlers from Anatolia moving to the new territories. Capturing Philippopolis in 1363, he cut off the Bulgarians from Byzantium. John V could only look on as the Ottomans surrounded and cut off his city. To preserve his position, he acknowledged Murad's suzerainty, rendering him no more than an Ottoman vassal. 3 years later, the Pope issued a bull proclaiming a crusade against the Ottomans. Only Count Amadeus of Savoy answered the call, and with his fleet, he managed to capture Gallipoli, handing it over to Byzantium. Still actively encouraging Turkic tribesmen to reside in the Balkan and having a well-established position there, this loss didn't affect Murad too much. Murad's empire also came uncomfortably close to the Serbian Empire, suffering from its own internal problems. In 1355, Serbian Emperor Stefan Dušan passed away. Internal turmoil followed, seeing his
Of course, slightly off topic, but I do also remember that the Ottomans, I think, expanded right through Bulgaria, right to the border of Wallachia, which is now modern-day Romania. Because if you've seen the oh god, what was his name? Sorry, I've forgotten his name for a sec. Vlad the Impaler. He was once, as a boy, taken by the Ottomans and forced to convert to Islam and be a soldier of the Ottoman army. And while trying to get support from Hungary to go against the Ottomans. But then a cruel twist of fate, or betrayal, as a lot of people may say, that Vlad might have been betrayed by the King of Hungary and locked in his own prison, because obviously loads of people have heard about the stories of Vlad the Impaler.
Decisive son Stefan Uroš V ascend to the throne, unable to control Serbian nobles. Murad's capture of Adrianople united the Bulgars, Serbs, Wallachians, and Hungarians against him. In 1371, a multi-ethnic force of between 30,000 and 60,000 soldiers under the Serbian king marched onto Adrianople. Close by the city, Murad's forces ambushed them. This battle, the so-called destruction of the Serbs, led to thousands killed and drowned in the subsequent rout. If anything, it confirmed the Ottomans' position in the Balkans. Many smaller local lords and towns realized they would not be able to defeat the Ottomans, and Murad realized the potential of retaining the administrative infrastructure of territories, saving him the hassle of erecting a new system. So he offered many regions the option to maintain their current rulers if they became Ottoman vassals, paying tribute, tax, and supplying soldiers when required. Employing this tactic, Murad rallied smaller lords in the Balkan against a larger northern army sent to try and expel the Ottomans. In 1371, he began his campaign against Macedonia. He captured Monastir in 1382. 3 years later, he captured Sofia and forced Shishman to accept Ottoman suzerainty. The Byzantine emperors had to renew the ties of vassalage once again, surrendering Gallipoli to the Ottomans. 1 year later, the Serbian city of Niš and the Venetian-controlled Thessalonica surrendered. Among the feudal lords forced to accept Ottoman suzerainty was Lazar, controlling the most powerful state in the disintegrated Serbian Empire, Moravian Serbia. He must have grown worried around the time the Ottomans captured Sofia, and the capture of Niš and vassalage of Serbian feudal lords didn't contribute to his sense of security. In 1386, gathering a Serbian-Bosnian army, he defeated the local Ottoman commander Lala Shahin Pasha at Plotnik. Achieving several minor victories, Wallachians, Bulgarians, Albanians, and Hungarians joined the ranks of Lazar's army to repel the Ottoman yoke. In response, Murat cut off Bulgaria from the lead. Then he began his march towards Lazar's army while dispatching Christian auxiliary and mercenary troops to crush an invasion by the Karaman tribe in Anatolia. On his way through the Balkan to meet Lazar's army, many feudal lords joined him, whether it was voluntary or under pressure. Murat's epic march culminated in the June 1389 Battle of Kosovo. The battle was a legendary one, entering history books. Murat took personal command of his forces, joined by Bulgarian princes, Lesser Serbian nobles, and Turkoman princes. Lazar's forces initially gained the upper hand, but during the battle, part of his army defected. Murat was killed, upon which his son Bayezid assumed command. Lazar of Serbia was captured and executed. Stefan Lazarevic, his son, succeeded him as a loyal Ottoman vassal. The Ottomans won the battle, crushing any organized resistance in the Balkans. Only 3 decades after Orhan had first crossed into Europe, the Ottomans controlled all of southeastern Europe except Bosnia, Albania, and parts of Greece. And with Bayezid as the most ambitious leader of the Ottomans thus far, the history of the mighty empire was just about to begin. Thank you very much for watching this video. If there's a topic or event you would like to know more about, let me know your thoughts in a comment. I would also really like to thank all my patrons and channel members for their generous support.
And that'll do it. This has been another another interesting video by House of History. And like I said, I didn't know how the Ottomans originated, so there's not much more I can add. So if you like this reaction, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.